Hello everybody, good afternoon. Welcome to That's Football for our Sunday watch-along. It's Arsenal trip to Southampton in the 2 o'clock game, in which, actually, I didn't realise there were so many 2 o'clock games going on. So, actually, Leeds are playing Fulham, Southampton are playing Arsenal, Wolves are playing Leicester, and Villa are playing Brentford. It's almost like a 3 p.m. on a Saturday, but it's a 2 p.m. on a Sunday. So, yeah, lots to keep you up to. Lots to keep you up for, if you're that excited. But... yeah, looking forward to it. Can't fault it, and potentially quite a comfortable win for Arsenal. But on the other hand, maybe not. Maybe not. We'll have to wait and see. Advertisement bridge. I don't play the adverts, mate, so I don't know what's going on there. I just go live. Let's go through the team news for you then. So we'll start off with the home side, which is Southampton. We have got the stats carousel going round, and it's accurate. But Basuna, Kaletkar, Lianco, Saliso and Peru, with Diallo, Ward-Prowse, Elianusi, Aribo, Armstrong and another Armstrong. A little bit disappointed that our man Bella is not playing. Presume he's injured. I was looking forward to him playing, but he's not going to. Arsenal, Ramsdale, White, Saliba, Gabriel, Tomiyasu, Partey, Xhaka, Saka, Odegaard, Martinelli, Jesus. It's got... I've said this about Arsenal a few times, haven't I? You can tell the mark of a good side when you know what their best 11 is, and that is a very steady first 11 for Arsenal that, you know what, approaching the end of October, they're still able to put that team out consistently. That's a real plus for Arteta, because I think the big thing that people say about Arsenal is that squad depth will be their problem. But here we are on the 23rd of October and they're still putting out their first 11. So, you know, it might not be a problem. I mean, you look at their bench: Tierney, Nketiah, Holding, Suarez, Vieira, Lokonga, Nelson, Alankara and Turner. I mean, it's not there's a couple of good players on there, but the bench is not massively strong for Arsenal. But I fancy them to win today. I think they'll be quite comfortable winning today, really. I just don't think Southampton really have the sort of quality to deal with this sort of a side. We went and beat Southampton, Manchester United 1-0. They don't have much of a threat, to be fair. But, Southampton not doing too bad. 11 points from 11. I mean, it's very tight at the bottom now. I don't know whether you've looked at the bottom of the league, but 3 points separating 20th and 14th. So things can go wrong very, very quickly. And therefore, it's a big game. And Southampton and other teams will be looking at what Forest did to Liverpool. But Southampton had a good result on Wednesday, 1-0 against Bournemouth. So maybe they can bring some momentum to that. But yeah, I do think it will be a comfortable win for Arsenal this afternoon. United says, I back the Saints. Come on. We've had a member with a chat. He's been a member for 5 months. It's Berger, and he says, W Saints. Okay, well, we've had one shock this weekend. And I don't think Southampton beating Arsenal would be as shocking as Forest beating Liverpool, but, it could be another shock. Tell me what's going on with Bella Kotchup anyway. I'm gutted. I'm absolutely gutted, man. Where is he? I was really looking forward to watching him play. He's out injured. I reckon. He can't play, Mark. He's injured. I'll keep you up to date with the results for Leicester and Wolves and Leeds and Fulham, says Luca. I mean, the other games are a little bit rubbish. He's injured, Mark. The other games are a little bit rubbish. I am going to shout this person out, YNWA. I know it's a Liverpool fan. You'll never walk alone, but he makes a very good point. Let's see how many fake penalties there are today. I am demanding at least 2 or 3 penalties per game this afternoon, because we now know that the FA and the referees have decided that if you grab hold of anybody in the box, it's a penalty. Don't talk to me about the severity of grabbing on. McTominay was holding on to Broha like he was on the Titanic, but it's still something that has been let go many times. And now we're saying it's penalty. I tell you what, I keep looking at it, and I've got to admit it, that Arsenal away kit is clean. It is nice. I don't like to say it, but football kits are football kits. The England kit is terrible. That Arsenal away kit is nice. Don't forget to remind us of every shirt pull today, says Nelly. Oh, I'm going to keep my eyes on this. And the great thing is, Becca says, stop crying about it. Mate, did you watch the game? We didn't lose. The scam didn't work. these referees and the FA, they've got it in for United. We don't want Ten Hag to do well. We want Poch. 2 penalties against Newcastle, stonewall. We don't get them. Dodgy penalty at Chelsea late on to let Chelsea win, and then Casemiro comes and saves the day. So I'm not salty about the penalty because it didn't work. We got the draw. It was 0-0. It should have been 0-0. It ended up 1-1. But I'm telling you now, that penalty is just is a joke, and I'll be shouting it out. Get your clips ready. I'll be. It's such a nice kit, that Arsenal kit. Could it be a Man United kit? It could. Why couldn't it be a United kit? I love the gold. I love gold on black. Lovely, lovely. It's a lovely kit. I can't deny it's a lovely kit. Adidas are doing better kits for Arsenal than they are for United. That's not getting talked about enough. Anyway, we're about to start the game here. Arsenal kits just proved that Adidas haters as well, says Mason Reed. Yeah. Let's go. And we're off. There we go. Timer's on the screen. Match stats are on the screen. We're ready to go. Looking forward to this. Looking forward to it. I'm not doing Newcastle Spurs. Spurs fans should thank me for this. Every time I do a Spurs game, it's boring. Every time I don't do a Spurs game, it's good. I remember last season, Everton were playing Spurs at 5:30, and someone said do a watch along, and I said no, it'll be a boring 0-0. And it was that game where there was loads of goals. So thank me later for that. But every time I do a Spurs game, it's boring. So I'm not doing it. But that should mean there'll be loads of goals. But yeah, we're doing this one instead. We're doing the 2 o'clocks. And the reason I'm not doing it is I don't normally present the forum on the United stand, but I'm presenting the forum at 7 o'clock, and we've got Ricky on. Arsenal already in front. No, they're not. Good save by the keeper, Jesus. I fancied him there. Slipped in. He was offside anyway. Martinelli slipped him in. He had a tight angle, but I'd have fancied him to score. And it's a big keep by Basuna, who I think is Irish. Is he the Irish goalkeeper? I know he played well against United as well. But quick start from Arsenal. They've been starting games well. Oh, Jesus is miles off. He's miles off. He's back in London. But I'd have fancied him to score, but the keeper did well with his feet. What an innings by Cooley. I love the United white kit, though, says Sumager. Yeah, the United kit is nice, the white kit. But that Arsenal kit, I've got to be honest, I love it. I love it. Reverse psychology, says L plus ratio. So, good start to the game by Arsenal. Feels a bit weird. The kits feel a bit weird to me. You know, it doesn't look like, visually, it doesn't look like Southampton against Arsenal. It is. Nice ball in behind, but defended as well there. No Bella Koch up today. Salisu and somebody else. Can't remember what the name is. But a good, strong start from Arsenal. I mean, look, Arsenal don't have any players missing either. They're just a very good side, Arsenal, at the moment. They're in the rhythm. They're playing well. Newcastle win, they go 4th, says Kevin. Yeah, I think for Newcastle, it depends on their injury status. Is Isaac back? Is St. Maximin back? Because they did play quite well against United last week, but they did miss in the second half. I think they tired. He's the Irish Buffon, is Basuna, says Jack Maloney. Oh, I thought you liked the one at Liverpool. What was his name? Kelleher, is it? Unai says Arsenal's away kit is probably the best kit in Europe. Away kit in Europe. Or best kit in Europe. Isaac's out until after the World Cup. Oh, Mark, there you go. There you go. But they need some maximum back. Callum Wilson's absolutely fine up there. 1-0 to Villa. The bounce back is there, says Josh Carter. New manager bounce. Gerrard will be there going, I can't believe it. I can't believe it. They're absolutely shite when I'm in charge. First fucking minutes and they've scored a goal already. They're bloody Midlands twats. They got it in for me. Great cross in by Saka. Just goes wide. New to the channel, what does TUS stand for? We haven't got TUS anywhere. Hi Mark, ordered the Christmas jumper. Well done, mate. Pally, thank you very much for ordering it. They ship in a week's time. Pre-orders, get them in. They're very nice. Very nice. Good cross that by Saka, just wide. Arsenal started off very well here. It's going to be a long afternoon for Southampton. TUSFC, the United stand. The United stand. King of Starlings has ordered the jumper as well. I feel like I need to show you the jumper here. Southampton doing well in the midfield. That's a foul. Give me a yellow. Red card. Penalty. That's a penalty. If it's a penalty last night for McTominay, that's a penalty. I don't care if it's in the centre circle. Come on, ref. Sort yourself out. Play the game. So I feel ignorant when people are talking about the jumper and people don't know what we're talking about. So we've got a brand new Christmas jumper coming out from the United stand. It is knitted. 20 times is the theme. On the arm, you got the manager and the words, and on the back, you got the 20. Knitted jumper, lovely pattern. I can't wait for the Christmas parties because it's the only time United are going to be relevant. If you want to get one, United stand Shopify, you can pre-order them. We've only got a select number of them, but there's still quite a few to get hold of, so get yourself in there. I'm not a Man United fan and I'd still buy that, says Kevin Wallace. Up to you. Up to you. It's not Ollie on the armband. 20 times. Ollie bloody won nothing. Nothing. Any news on Varane, says Gert? Yeah, hamstring injury, probably out until... Well, he's definitely out for United until Christmas. There's a chance he could still go to the World Cup. It's a minor hamstring tear, which probably keeps him out for about 4 or 5 weeks. So he could be back for France in the World Cup. Does that benefit United? I'd like him to be back for the World Cup. Southampton should have crossed that. Ends up in Ramsdale's arm. Have you seen how Arteta's converted Ben White to a right back and a pretty good one, says Summerjet? I think it's interesting how Ben White has held that position, to be fair. Yeah. He's not bad. Oh, that's terrible by Southampton. Ideas not on the same wavelength there. Armstrong. Why don't you watch Wolves versus Leicester City, says Alejandro? Because I'm with it. Bloody, even a dead cat's not going to watch Wolves against Leicester. The only people who are going to watch that is Leicester and Wolves fans. That's because they've got to. I mean, God, have you ever thought... I mean, in all the games I wouldn't want to watch would be Wolves, Leicester. I mean, I'd rather watch a kickabout in the park than watch Wolves, Leicester. No, thanks. Villa are winning 1-0, by the way, against Brentford. Bailey scoring after 2 minutes. But Arsenal might be scoring here. What a shot that was from Jesus. Ridiculous angle on the left. Or was it Xhaka? I think it was Xhaka, wasn't it? Getting forward so well. It's not Jesus. It's Xhaka who hits it with his left foot. Power strike from a hard angle, but Bazuna keeps hold of it. If you're interested to know why Villa are winning, different lineup for Villa. They've gone with a front three of Bailey, Ings, and Watkins, and a midfield of Bendia, Douglas Luiz, and Dendoncker. He's basically benched Ramsey, Coutinho, McGinn. Yeah, they've changed quite a lot there. What happened to that player at Villa they bought in the summer for free, Kamara? Is he injured? Must be injured. Madrid looking to buy Dalot. Man United can't afford to let Dalot go. I don't think Dalot would go. I think he's happy at Man United as well. We just need to sort out the captaincy. Kamara's injured, Mark, says Arsene. Thank you very much. Mark, please support Southampton. I don't really support anybody in this game. I'm just watching it and enjoying it. I will be honest. I think for the good of the Premier League, Arsenal to keep winning makes it more interesting. But that doesn't mean I want Arsenal to win. There's still that rivalry there. 1-0 to Leicester. 1-0 to Leicester. Leicester lead 1-0 against Wolverhampton Wanderers. Remember, those two teams could play swap your position. Leicester are currently below Wolves and they could move above Wolves with a win today. So Leicester would be on the up if they were to win. Tillemans, what a goal, says Will. Thank you very much for the update there. And it's 2-0 to Villa and it's nearly 1-0 to Arsenal. Big chance for Odegaard. Didn't quite finish it well. Hit it low. Let's look at it back. Lots of goals going in at the moment, but we're watching Arsenal's trip to Southampton. Xhaka bursting forward again, gets it into Odegaard. Not an easy chance. He's coming onto it on the edge of the box, left-footed. Goes for the bottom corner. I don't think the angle was on because there was a Southampton player lying on the floor anyway. Hi Mark, hope you're well. How's your FPL looking, says Tim. I don't know, I've not been able to log on for a week. Let's see if any penalties get given for grabbing at corners in this game, says Joshua. When there's a corner, get excited. PlayStation or Xbox, says Berger. PlayStation for me. Good tackle there on Odegaard. Got there first, Salisu. Arsenal knocking on the door in this first 10 minutes. Looking very comfortable. 2-0 to Villa. Boylo says, another case of petulant players who down tools at Villa. He's made a lot of changes to the team though. Who's the caterer? I don't care who the caterer is. Who's the caretaker at Liverpool, by the way? Not Liverpool. I've got Scousers on the mind here. Who's the caretaker manager at Villa? Mark, could we see you in the YouTube boxing scene, says Chris. If I did YouTube boxing, I'd blow it apart. Like, imagine the hype there would be for that. But first of all, who would I box? And we're talking big bucks here. We're talking big bucks. For me, it'd have to be someone like... Oh, what a goal by Arsenal. What a goal by Arsenal. Absolutely fantastic. Brilliant. Brilliant goal. Absolutely brilliant. There is no doubt about that. What a goal by Arsenal that is. I think it's Xhaka again. That is magnificent. It's magnificent. I can't deny the brilliance of Arsenal's build-up play under Arteta this season. I think we saw glimpses of it last year. The way he's got Xhaka breaking through from the midfield is just been so evident in the first 10 minutes. They're just on a different level at the moment. Anybody who says that they can't compete for the title doesn't know what they're on about. If they can keep this first 11 fit, lovely play. Ben White, I think he's going to get the assist. Cross comes in. Yeah, it's just a very simple goal. This is what I mean about putting crosses into the box as well. Crosses into the box, people breaking into the box. It's a lovely cross by Ben White. Xhaka's arriving late and just smacks it in. It's a very simple goal. Training ground goal in many ways, but when you put it into play, into real football, it looks so simple, but actually, it's just fantastic football. And it has been coming. And Arsenal lead 1-0. We're on the way to the league, says Zayn Miasi. Look, Arsenal look very good at the moment. Really good. And it's a shame. It's a real shame that... how is that not a penalty for Arsenal? This is what I'm talking about. This is exactly what I'm talking about. It's not even a corner. That's a penalty for Arsenal, and he's not given it. Oh, this is exactly what I'm talking about last night. That penalty that was given against McTominay last night was exactly like that. Wrestling to the ground, but referees don't normally give them. That's a bloody penalty for Arsenal. If that's a penalty from McTominay last night, that's a penalty there. They referee games differently, and I knew this would happen today. I bloody knew it would happen. Everyone was going, it is a penalty, Mark. He's wrestled him to the ground. And I'm saying, yeah, of course it's a foul, but they never get given. Referees don't give those sort of things, and there's the evidence there. They don't get given unless it's bloody Chelsea against Man United. I knew it. That's a penalty there. Arsenal on the attack, though. Great tackle. I want to see that back. I want to see that back again. I want to see that back again because people were giving me a load of crap last night saying it is a penalty. McTominay's pulled him to the ground. And I'm like, watch football. Watch football. Referees never give those wrestles to the ground. They never give them. And we've had it already in the first 13 minutes. And this is what people want. They want consistency. Here we go. He's wrestled him to the ground. He's wrestled him to the ground. Look at that. It's a stonewall penalty. If the McTominay one's a penalty, that's a penalty. It's exactly the same thing. He's nowhere near. And there's a ball in play here, remember? The ball's in play. McTominay and Broho, there's no ball. It's just wrestle. The ball's in play there. He's pulling him back. Bloody ridiculous. It's the inconsistency that kills you. It's a stonewall penalty. And Jesus is in possession of the ball. Broho didn't even have the ball. Inconsistency again. Nobody will bloody talk about it. I knew that was going to happen. That's why I said it yesterday. I was brave enough to say that's a nonsense, an absolute nonsense. And we'll see loads of those today where penalties aren't given. God knows what's going on in the other 2 o'clocks. But in this game, in first 15 minutes, we've already seen the same sort of foul in the box not given. It's a clear penalty. Arsenal should have a penalty. I'll be moaning. I mean, you don't need to moan because you're already winning. But Arsenal fans, you've got every right to say, what's going on then? We are giving penalties for people wrestling people to the floor. We're not giving penalties for people wrestling to the floor. That's worse because Jesus has actually got the ball as well. Nonsense. Nonsense. It's exactly the same as the McTominay foul. And it's worse than the McTominay foul because Jesus has got the ball. Inconsistent nonsense again. Villa are 3-0 up. Ings has scored a penalty. Bloody hell, we've only had 15 minutes. Pater says that Casemiro's goal wasn't over the line. Well, mate, that's not human error. That's a digital line hooked up to a vibrator. That's a goal. And you're thinking of something else. Goal line technology cannot be disputed. There is a digital line attached to a vibrator on the referee's arm. Goal. Yeah, looks like Gerrard was the problem. Thought you said you were over the penalty yesterday, says Jack Hammer. No, I am over it because Casemiro got the equaliser, but I'm not talking about Man United here, and I'm not talking about Chelsea. Chelsea fans, you won't get a penalty for that again, and you should do. Everybody should be getting penalties for it now. And already we've seen, I reckon the referees have probably rung the referees up and said, that penalty that was given last night, we don't want to see those given again because it's just going to get stupid. I guarantee you, the Referees Association has spoken to the referees and said, look, it happened. Technically, it's a penalty, but we don't want to see penalties given for that sort of thing. Because that referee, if we're getting consistency, he's got to give a penalty. And he didn't. There you go. Thanks someone who's tuning in, by the way. Make sure you subscribe, bottom right-hand corner. We don't dress it up on here. If you don't like it, the exit door is the X button. We ain't mainstream. We call it how it is. You might not agree with me, but it might get you thinking. I'm not gonna skirt the issue here. I'm gonna say what we think, and if you disagree with it, you're very welcome. At least it's got you thinking. But I'm telling you now, a lot of people gave me a stick overnight. I even said it on TalkSport. It's a disgusting penalty last night because it won't be given tomorrow, and it's already not been given today. Arsenal should be 2-0 up. Stonewall penalty, not given, and yet the same thing yesterday was given. Arsenal don't need the penalty though. Jay is right. They're crazy good. I'll tell you what though. Bringing it back to Arsenal. I was gutted that Arsenal game against PSV had to be played on Thursday. Absolutely gutted. Because it should have been Man City Arsenal. And I think we need Man City Arsenal now. Imagine if Arsenal played Man City now and won, they'd go 7 points clear. You can guarantee when Arsenal have to play Man City, Arsenal have 3 or 4 players out. Imagine if they could have played Man City with their first team. It should have been a penalty, but it's never given as one. Ref's still too inconsistent. Shorty, you're absolutely spot on. You're spot on. I would argue the referee got it right in the Arsenal game. That's not a penalty, but it is a foul. And it's an unwritten rule that wrestling people to the floor never is a penalty. But that referee yesterday, the idiots go, clear penalty because they think they see it as a foul. But the intelligent people know they don't get given. And we've just seen it for Jesus. They don't get given because they're soft. And you'd be given 3 or 4 a game. And it's a contact sport. Keep it up, Mark. Honest conflict has more social value than dishonest harmony, says Little. Thank you very much. 100% penalty for Jesus for me. I don't want to see them given, but if it was one for Chelsea, it's one for Arsenal, and I knew that was going to happen. And I'm not going to get over it, Arta. I'm going to keep calling it out. Leicester 2-0 up against Wolves. Villa players are a disgrace, says JR. Mate, we've seen this so many times. I'm not even surprised. How many times have we seen players bounce back? You know why they do it? You know what happens? Here's a little lesson for you. A lot of footballers are egotistical, up their own arse, arrogant people, yeah? And when things go wrong, they're blame shifters. And when a manager gets sacked, they need to perform to make out that it wasn't the manager. It happens all the time. So this is why you get so many teams who bounce back a little bit when the manager gets sacked, because suddenly their ego kicks in and says, you know, if we keep losing, it's not the manager's fault, it's our fault. And suddenly the players start playing hard again. You see it again in relegation. You know, in the last month of the season, you can have the worst team in the league for 8 months, and then suddenly relegation's going to happen. They're going to lose 50% of their wages. They can beat Man City. It's the modern player for you. Well, I don't even think it's the modern player. It's just the fact that they are egotistical, well-paid people who can just turn it on when they want to turn it on. And that's why it always happens when a manager gets sacked, because they don't want it to be their fault. They want it to be the manager's fault. But I think Villa are better off with Gerrard anyway. Leeds are winning 1-0. Toffee goals with the update. Leeds winning 1-0. Macarena says this could be Southampton's annual 9-0 thrashing. I'm just waiting for the stats to go around, actually, to have a quick look at that. Lots of goals in these 2 o'clock games. Fair play to Leicester, though. I don't think Rodgers has lost those players. I think the Leicester players, really, the loss of Schmeichel was huge. I think Leicester's big problem is, and I don't know whether we've got any Leicester fans in, I think the reason Leicester have struggled is they stood still in the summer, and you can't stand still in the Premier League. You know, you've even got teams like Forest who are spending loads of money. Wolves are spending loads of money. I think with Fofana going as well. I don't think the Leicester players have down tools for Rodgers. I think they like Rodgers. I just think they've stood still as a team. And you can't stand still in the Prem. And you can't stand still and lose someone like Kasper Schmeichel either. Kasper Schmeichel was massive for them. Rodrigo scores for Leeds. Do you think Ward-Prowse will ever get his move, says Stuart? I mean, Ward-Prowse is a good player and he could definitely play. I don't know whether he'd start, but he could definitely be a really important player for a Chelsea, an Arsenal. I don't think a Man City or a Liverpool, to be fair, but certainly a Spurs as well. But do I think he'll get his move? How old is Ward-Prowse? 28? If he's going to go, he's got to go soon. AD says, thanks for calling out Roy Keane on national television. All United fans need to hear it. I love Roy Keane. I'd love Roy Keane. I'm sure it's not reciprocated. But I think the world's moved on. And I think that there has to be accountability. And fortunately enough, I was on TalkSport last night, so I got the chance on national radio to call it out, which we don't normally get as fans. We don't normally get that opportunity. And I think that the mainstream... You know, I heard Rio yesterday on BT, back in Ronaldo. Then I heard the bloody Roy Keane stuff. And then he was sort of saying that Ten Hag's not doing a good job. And I just thought, you know what? We're not getting punditry here. We're getting biased opinion from people who used to play the game at a high level. And I'm not here for that. I'm not here for that. I saw Roberto Martinez talking about tactics to Bruno Fernandes. And everyone was like, look what happens when a manager talks tactics. I think Roberto Martinez is a terrible coach. But at least he's talking tactics. I'm not here to listen to ex-players give biased opinions that even hardcore fans wouldn't really make. So, yeah, look, you've got to call it out. Of course you have. It doesn't take away from the fact that these players are absolute, goats of the game as far as I'm concerned. I mean, Roy Keane, probably one of my biggest influences on my game. Everyone in the, if you're at school or, 5-a-side in it, still lucky to be able to do that. You probably, in your head, you think you're Zidane or, maybe you think you're Ronaldo or Messi or something like that. Roy Keane was the player for me. Roy Keane and Lee Sharp, they were the two players that, as a lad at school, I used to sort of model my game on. The engine and tenacity of a Roy Keane, or if I went on the left wing, Lee Sharp running at people. Mr. MJ says Keano spoke facts. And that's the great thing. Some people will think he did. But Southampton having a bit of a phase here. But now it's Arsenal. This is what they can do. Jesus, he's too good. Oh, it's side netting. See that Arsenal there. They're soaking up a bit of pressure. One bad pass by Southampton and Jesus is in. I thought he'd scored here. It's actually Ward-Prowse who plays the bad pass. Odegaard instantly, first time pass into Jesus. And 3 players on Jesus and he still gets the shot off. That's how good he is at the moment. But look at that pass from Odegaard. Actually, keeper makes a save. Look at that pass by Odegaard as well. First time. First time pass from the number 10. Did you do the Sharpie corner flag celebration, Mark? Yes. It's sort of like that. Doot doot. Oh no, I can't. There was no music. It's sort of like, it's the Lee Sharp jig, wasn't it? He did a few. He did the microphone one as well. I liked Lee Sharp more than Ryan Giggs in the early days. He had to live it to know it, because people would go, "What you on about? Giggs was way better." But I preferred Sharp to Giggs in the early days. Scored a brilliant back heel against Barcelona in the Champions League. I'll tell you what, second goal in this game's over. Some people might think it's over already. 25 minutes. Villa are making a statement here, says DJ. 1-1, Fulham score, Mitrovic. Dyche impression for the Villa job. Fulham 1-1 with Leeds. Well, you know what? I love the Villa job. Mings is my sort of player. But at the end of the day, what's the gravel like in the Midlands? Because they don't do potato cakes down there. And I'm not really into curry. I know they've got the Curry Mile in England, in Birmingham. But I want the gravel mile. I want a big truck of gravel and a big funnel in my mouth. And if they can do that, then Villa's the club for me. I like the fact that they wear claret, because my head's not far off. And I tell you what, if you get in my face, you'll have a bit of claret running down your nose. So I'm thinking about it. Sean Dyche is from Nottingham. Is he? Never knew that. I think that Dyche for Villa would be a bad move for both parties. No, I know a lot of Villa fans because I live in the Midlands, and I don't think they really want that style of football. I think they want something a little bit more progressive. I think the Sporting Lisbon manager might be worth a look at. Sound more like Tyson Fury's dad. Yeah, I haven't done Sean Dyche for a while, and I have had a bit of a sore throat, so apologies there. That's fresh out the box after a few weeks. Score update, that'll be the Mitrovic equaliser. Yes, yes, yes. Thanks everyone who's tuning in, by the way. Please do subscribe, bottom right hand corner. Southampton on the attack here. I said it to you. I thought I was going to say I said it to an Arsenal fan. I don't speak to many Arsenal fans. I said this, didn't I? We played Southampton United a few weeks ago. They're good enough to stay in the game, but they're not good enough to score goals. They've got no threats. They just don't score enough goals. And against a good Arsenal defence, I would say that this game is probably already over. Villa got a penalty for a very, very soft holding, says Ronnie. And then Arsenal didn't. Oh, lovely ball into Saka. He's got the pace. He's on his own. He want to come on his left foot. Ref thought about a foul. What's he doing? Is he booking Saka for a dive? Villa got a pen for a very, very soft holding. Thank you. What? He's booked Saka for diving. What the fuck is he on about? Oh no, fair play. I think Saka throws his other foot in the way. I don't think it's a yellow card. Booked for diving. We're on the road to 800,000 subscribers, by the way. Please do subscribe, bottom right-hand corner. I'm going to have a look at what the watch-alongs are for this week in a minute. Deitch is from Kettering, Northampton, says Frentas. Thank you very much. I don't know. You know what? Whether that's a dive or not, I've had to look at it twice to interpret whether it is. I think that diving is like the back pass rule. It's just as and when. And actually, if we're going to deal with it properly, let's use VAR. Let's if you want to book someone for diving, let's start doing it. But let's start looking at VAR. Because Johans is right. That people do way worse than that. That yellow card for Saka diving is a joke, you know. Jesus has just gone down here. Yeah, I don't think it's no, Bon, he kicked his foot into the Southampton player. There is contact there. He just simulated the contact. That's not diving for me. Who do you think is going to get relegated, says Addy? Well, look, you know what? I was talking about this before. I think the bottom eight, quick maths. I think the bottom 7 are separated by 3 points at the moment. So it's impossible to predict a relegated team. I mean, look, that win for Forest yesterday, everyone says Forest are going to get relegated. I think it's a massive win for them. Massive win for them. I still think Fulham, Bournemouth and Forest are the 3 that I would predict are going to go down. I think Leicester are vulnerable because they stood still. I still think Leicester didn't do enough in the summer, well, did nothing in the transfer window and lost 2 key players. So I still think Leicester are vulnerable because they stood still in the market. I can't see Wolves going down. I think they've got too many good players. I mean, who else is down there? Who would you say is your 3 to go down? Because for me, Brentford could get pulled into it, but I don't think they will. You know, even a team like Brighton could get pulled into it. I don't think they will, but I wouldn't. You know, Potter's not there anymore. Maybe Brentford, Brighton could get pulled down. Don't think they will. Everton have started to pick up points. Palace, I think, are too good. Villa, I think, will start rising as well. West Ham won't go down. Southampton, maybe. Yeah, I think Leeds won't go down. I'd say right now, Forest, Bournemouth, Fulham, Leicester, Southampton would be my 5. I don't really see anybody else going down. I think Leeds, Wolves, West Ham, Villa, Palace, Everton, don't see it really. I mean, but having said that, Fulham are quite well clear, aren't they? Fulham are actually in bloody 8th. Maybe a horrible question. Who do you think will be the next manager to go, says Jack. It's not a horrible question. Get in the chat. Who's the next manager to go? Well, Gerrard's gone. We knew that was going to happen. Obviously, Tuchel went. Who have we lost? Parker went, didn't he? Southampton just going to put a long throw in here. Let's just wait and see. Headed away. Good cross. Corner for Southampton. You know what? I think if Leicester win today and they're looking like they will win, that takes a lot of pressure off Rodgers. You know what? You've always got to look at the fixtures. Let's see what happens with this corner for Southampton. Thomas Frank's never getting the sack. Someone just said Thomas Frank. He's not going to get the sack. It's not what Brentford would do. Corner. Oh, he's... Another corner here for Southampton. I could see... I actually think Hassan Hultul is... and I can't pronounce his name... is a potential. The trouble is, a lot of clubs haven't got managers at the moment, have they? Villa haven't got a manager. Wolves haven't got a manager. Bournemouth have got a caretaker manager. So I'd probably say Hasenhüttl. I can't see any of the big people losing their job. Watch penalty for City against Brighton yesterday. It was the same scenario as Saka. Bernardo Silva kicked his own left foot to Brighton player, says Addy. Well, the yellow card for Saka is a joke. Jesse Marsh, maybe. Good point. Yeah, Jesse Marsh, interesting. You've always got to look at what their next game is. Leeds next time out, go to Liverpool. That's on Saturday night at 7:45. Unlucky if you're watching that. Next Saturday night at 7:45 on Halloween Saturday. Forget about it. They're having a good little bit of attack here. Southampton. Completely toothless. Gummy bears. Yeah, Leeds' next game is Liverpool. Then they've got Bournemouth at home. You'd fancy them there, though, wouldn't you? And then their final game is Tottenham. Yeah, so if I was predicting the next Premier League sacking, I would say Hasenhüttl or Jesse March. There's an Arsenal player there on the corner grabbing somebody's shirt, holding on to him. This is what I'm talking about. You don't get fouls for that sort of thing. Look at all the grabbing that's going on here. You're never going to change it. Arsenal good defensively, though. Well done, well done. Corner again. Blake says there's only 3 games left in the Premier League before the World Cup. I tell you what, we need at we're 9 minutes to half time. We need a bit of a poll going on, don't we? We need a bit of a head-to-head. 8 things, quarterfinals to semi-finals to final. What 8 things can we rank? Could do managers without Pep. Best manager's always going to be Pep, isn't it? Southampton having a bit of pressure here, but it's blunt forced. It's blunt force. They've just got no cutting edge. They do try and play the right way, Southampton, but they've just got nothing. Nothing. They do press and everything, but they've just got nothing up front, really. Archie says, who would you say in order is the best player? Scholes, Lampard, Gerrard. You know what I would say to that, Archie? That's 20 years too late. Does it even matter anymore? Scholes, Gerrard, Lampard. Most people in the chat won't have remembered, won't have seen them play. You know, Scholes, Gerrard and Lampard were in their prime over 20 years ago. Like... Well, no, maybe not Lampard. Or Gerrard, to be fair. But it was a long, long time ago. Best ever Champions League winning captain, says Neil. Oh, shot by Arsenal. They've had a quiet 10 minutes, Arsenal, really. But Martinelli has a shot there, deflected wide. If you're Arsenal, you would be feeling that second goal wins. Well, you might win it 1-0, but second goal ends the game, really. They've won a corner here. Could do best football stadiums in the Premier League. I quite like that idea. that would be quite interesting, you know what? Because people might like the vintage grounds like Goodison Park and Old Trafford and Anfield, and then some people might like the modern ones like Spurs. I quite like that. Best stadium in the Prem. Good idea. So come on then, give me the 8. Corners headed away by Arsenal. So I think you've got to put the Spurs stadium in, haven't you? That's a nice stadium. Yeah, you've got to put Anfield in. You've got to put Old Trafford in. You've got to put the Emirates in. Does anybody like Stamford Bridge? St James? Yeah, we'll put that. Oh, Newcastle, quite like that. I like Goodison. Can we put Goodison in? Just grounds or including atmosphere? Collective, come on you Spurs. I think atmosphere is part of the ground, isn't it? Yeah. I can't put the Etihad in. It's got no. I don't like the Etihad. It's a bloody Commonwealth Games stadium. I mean, I'll put it in, but it's a Commonwealth Games stadium. Just doesn't feel like a football ground to me. Same with West Ham. It's an Olympic ground for me. The Olympic Stadium. Right, I'm gonna put. I need another 3. I've got 6. Well, I need 2 more. 2 more. A lot of people saying Ellen Road. Okay, we'll throw Ellen Road in. Wembley's not in the Prem. I like the fact that we've got a few old grounds in here. We've got a mixture of old and new. Villa Park. Right, okay. I'm going to run a poll here for the 8th team because I can't decide between these two. So I'm looking forward to this. It's going to be good at half time. Saka on the run. Keeper gets hold of it. So this is to get into the final 8. I can't decide between these two for the last 2 spots. So it's Villa Park versus the Etihad. Get voting. We've got our other 7. I ain't never putting the bloody Bournemouth ground in there. Nothing against Bournemouth, but a Premier League ground that's got a lower capacity than Notts County in the National League is a bloody farce. 11,000 people at Bournemouth. Having a laugh. Having a laugh. I'm enjoying the stream this afternoon though. Good game. Good chat. Please do subscribe, by the way. Bottom right-hand corner. Click the bottom right-hand corner to subscribe. We're on the road to 800k. Trying to hit it before the World Cup. I also need to tell people what watch-alongs I'm doing midweek. I forgot. I don't know what the week looks like. I'm not doing West Ham Bournemouth tomorrow. So Tuesday night, probably do Dortmund Man City. Might be a decent game. I don't know what it means in relation to the group stage, but Dortmund Man City jumps out at me. And Wednesday night, Barcelona Bayern and Ajax Liverpool as a double header. We'll do those. Yeah, looking forward to them actually. Barcelona Bayern and Ajax Liverpool. I mean, the interesting thing for me is, what do the tables look like in the Champions League at the moment? Because we're sort of approaching the end, aren't we? Arsenal on the attack. Jesus goes with the shot. Good block. Yeah, Liverpool aren't quite through yet, but should be through with 9 points. Ajax have got 3. Man City are... Well, maybe Man City aren't through yet. They've got 10 points and Dortmund have got 7. So it's a battle for first and second there. And then Jesus, great save. Oh, great save there by the keeper. Arsenal still on the attack with Odegaard. Back to Ben White. He did go down. I don't think he's ever going to get a penalty for it, but... This is hilarious, though. This is what I mean about football, right? Ben White gets pushed to the ground really soft. Southampton clear the ball into their striker who goes down really soft. Guess what a foul is? Watch Ben White here. No, they're not going to show it. They're going to show the chance for Jesus. Good save by the keeper. They're not going to show the Ben White thing. Barcelona, are they going to go out? Barcelona need to beat Bayern on Wednesday night. Bayern-Barcelona, be an interesting game, that. Because if Inter will beat Victoria Plzen, and therefore that will put Barcelona into the Europa League. So, yeah, we'll do that Wednesday night. Villa Park has battered the Etihad, so Villa Park will take up our last spot. Looking forward to that. We've got 8 grounds then for the Premier League best stadium, atmosphere, etc. We'll do it at half time. Benjamin says, how is Villa Park winning over the Etihad? Because it's probably because people like it better than the Etihad. I presume that's why. It's not about how big it is. It's about what it means to football fans. That's why I love stadium talk, because Goodison Park's one of my favourite stadiums ever. It's not better than Old Trafford. It's not bigger than Old Trafford. Obviously, Old Trafford's my favourite because I support Man United. But outside of Old Trafford, Goodison Park is one of my favourite grounds because I just love. It's vintage. It reminds me of being a kid. The atmosphere is fantastic. So I'm not surprised people would pick Villa Park over the Etihad, because the Etihad is, I don't think it's very atmospheric. It's a Commonwealth Games stadium. We haven't even seen the Ben White push back. I don't think it was a penalty, but the laughable thing was he gave a free kick for the same thing 30 seconds later to Southampton. Is the Anfield atmosphere as good as people say, says Frentas? I think it's a bit up and down at Liverpool. I know a few Liverpool fans who go and they say it can be amazing, but it can also be a bit flat. But I think that's the modern game. If you went to football grounds, I used to go to quite a few football grounds in the late 80s, and God, just a different thing. But it was a different crowd. It was very much, I'd say over 90% male. I don't like the word hooligan because I think that's just, that just taints everybody with the same thing. But it was very different atmospheres. Even a run-of-the-mill, Arsenal Southampton at the Dell would have an amazing atmosphere in the late 80s because football was very different. Obviously, all-seater stadiums, diversification of the audience in relation to promoting family, young, old, female. It's changed the atmosphere dynamics of football. I don't know whether they did allow alcohol, Tabo. The baseball ground, Dylan. Old grounds that I remember. The Dell for Southampton. That was always a weird, it felt like you were in a box at the Dell. The baseball ground, Derby County. Was it Highfield or Highbury? That was Highfield Road, wasn't it, Coventry? Highbury, I loved Highbury. I remember going to Highbury in 1989, I think it was. Oh, God. Got a cup of tea tipped on me. I was only a young lad. Unbelievable. I never went to Main Road, but I prefer Main Road to the Etihad. 100%, yeah. Remember Oasis at Main Road? Oh, what a concert that was. Yeah, Upton Park. But yeah, Highbury was there was something about Highbury that I almost wanted to play for Arsenal. Like, I loved Highbury. And I don't like Arsenal, but I loved the ground. I loved it. The great thing about Highbury is that you can still go there. There's no pitch, but they've still got the structure. Right, we're going to do this. Best Premier League ground. I'll give you the half-time scores as well. Thanks everyone who's tuning in, by the way. I love the interaction that we have on these. Even if the game's not superb, we always have a good bit of chat. So we're going to do best ever. We're going to do best Premier League ground. But let me just give you the half-times before I do that. And let me just give you the half-time stats in this game. So where are we? We go there, and we go pause, and that'll give us that. And then the half-time scores at the moment are, as it stands, 1-1 between Leeds and Fulham. Rodrigo and Mitrovic the scorers. Aston Villa are 3-0 up. Goals from Bailey. Ings has got 2, and he got a penalty. 3-0 up in the first 14 minutes. Douglas Luiz and Bailey with the assists there. And Leicester 2-0 up at half-time against Wolves. Tillemans and Harvey Barnes with the goals. Wolves have had, you won't believe this, you will not believe this. Wolves are losing 2-0 at half-time to Leicester. Wolves have had 64% possession. They've had 13 shots to 2, and they're losing 2-0. Leicester have had 2 shots on goal and scored them. They are being dominated, Leicester, but they're winning 2-0. It's a funny old game. It's a funny old game. Right, we're going to do Best Premier League Stadium. Let's get ready to rumble. First quarter-final. We've got 8 contenders to do this. This is one of the best ones we've ever done. I can't wait. I'm really excited about this. And you're going to decide it. Best Premier League Stadium. Someone needs to clip all this up and turn it into a YouTube video. Right, Best Premier League Stadium. First quarter-final. Okay, I don't know what they call it. Tottenham, Anfield. There you go. So it's Tottenham's new singing or dancing ground against old school Anfield. Apparently at Tottenham, you can put your glass empty on the bar and it fills up with some sort of magic. Harry Potter magic. So yeah, get your votes in for that. Tottenham against Anfield. With the Google Stadium soon, says Alex. The Thunderdome should be there, but it's not, because it's not real. Get your votes in there. Selhurst Park or Selhurst Mark, says Tell. Yeah, FIFA Career Mode's back tomorrow. I've got my highlights coming up. Probably whack them up tonight as well. You can't beat the atmosphere at Anfield, says Jake. Wolves only scored 5 goals so far this season. And that's from Hamoud. Thanks everyone who's tuning in. Please do subscribe, bottom right-hand corner. And Dylan says, I've never been to both, but going Anfield on the 9th to watch the derby. There we go. And Anfield all day long, says Lacko. Tottenham is a very good stadium, modern, but not the same atmosphere as Anfield, says Nuris. I think what you've got there is you've got an old school stadium in Anfield that's seen everything. European Cups, the lot. And then you've got a brand new stadium in Tottenham, which basically is just, it's like a new build, isn't it? It looks great, but it's got no history. It's got no atmosphere yet because... So, you know, infrastructure and, you know, design, it's going to be Tottenham. But that's not what a football stadium's all about, is it? What games are you going to do next weekend, says Frentas? I'll have a look. Right, we're going to close this down because we've got to get through quite a few. Anfield is leading with 58%. I'm going to count it down from 10. If it stays at 58%, it's over. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Tottenham Stadium's out. Anfield is through. Next one, next quarter-final is... Oh, you knobhead. Why didn't it copy and paste that so I have to type it out again? Oh, this is the time waster. Best Prem Stadium. Right, copy and paste it this time. That will save time. So our next one... Oh, it's 2 old grounds. 2 old grounds. And they both got Park in the name. Goodison Park, Villa Park. Get your votes in. 2 old school stadiums there. Villa Park used to get used for FA Cup semi-finals. Famous one. Ryan Giggs and his hairy chest. Oh, it's not done it yet. Not done it yet. Villa Park. Here we go. Where is the... I'm talking about the poll. It's not even out there, Zemish. Yeah, it is now, yeah. Goodison Park, one of my favourites, personally. But Villa Park, old school as well. Get your votes in. Just while we're doing that, let's have a quick look at these half-time stats. 39% possession... 61% possession for Arsenal. 8 shots to 5. 3 on target to 1. Southampton have had more corners, but you know what? I think Arsenal just need to put this game to bed. They definitely should have had a penalty. Jesus should have been a penalty for me. But yeah, Arsenal just looking very, very, very consistent at the moment, aren't they? Very, very good. Everton is getting a new ground soon, Roger. Yes, it is. I think we've only got 2 more years of Goodison, and then it's gone forever. I don't know what they're going to do. I don't know whether we've got any Everton fans. What are they going to do with Goodison Park? Because it's the sort, Goodison Park. If I was, I've said this to my mates in the past, right? And who's with me on this, right? If you were a billionaire, the problem is it's in Liverpool. But if I lived local to Goodison Park and I knew it was going to get knocked down, I would buy it and just go and play there on my own. You ever done that in the garden when you were a kid? Rooney. Well, it wouldn't have been Rooney for me because I wasn't a kid, but imagine that. I'd just love to buy Goodison Park and just get people in to maintain it, but just use it as a kickabout for me and my mates. I'd love it. It's such a shame when they get knocked down. Goodison Park has won this, 68%. Villa Park goes out. Oh, I'm not interested in buying Everton. I just want the stadium. I'd love it. I've played at Old Trafford. I've played at Leicester. Played at a few grounds. Doesn't matter to me when they're empty. In fact, that was one. When I did that YouTube All Stars game at Charlton, I played at Old Trafford when it was empty, and I've been on the pitch at Charlton and as the manager on the touchline. I didn't notice any difference. The crowd to me I didn't notice it. You just block it out. So Goodison's through. Okay, this is a big one. Battle of the Roses. And I'm not talking about Crunchy against Dairy Milk. I'm talking about Old Trafford against Ellen Road in our third quarter final. Old Trafford against Ellen Road, which is the better ground. And you can include atmosphere in that if you want. The Thunderdome. What's happening to Goodison Park? Let's Google it. Somebody will know. Well, the Liverpool Echo says that the plans for the demolition of Goodison Park and the future of Everton's home when it vacates the South to be debated next month. They're going to transform it into a mixed-use development, including housing, commercial space, community, retail uses, and open space. The application is going before the committee. It's going to get knocked down, isn't it? Which it has to. You can't. There's no point in having 2 stadiums. I get it. Just sad. Old Trafford has smashed Ellen Road there. So goodbye Leeds, you're out. Which leaves our final quarter-final, which is an interesting one because it does include the team that's playing today, the Emirates, up against, and I'm going to call it St James's Park, Newcastle. If that's its name or not, you know what it is. So it's Newcastle's ground against the Emirates. Give us your thoughts on that. What's your thoughts on Sheffield Wednesday, says Endo. I love Sheffield Wednesday. They're one of the old school teams. I mean, I'm really glad that Leeds are back in the Premier League, that Forest are back in the Premier League, because these are teams that I grew up with in the Division 1 and the Premier League. And Sheffield Wednesday, I'd love them to get back, but they're 2 divisions off, aren't they? A lot of people saying it's got to be St James's Park. It's close. It's close. Is it the Sports Direct Arena? It isn't anymore because Ashley's gone, isn't he? But yeah, I know it was called that. I don't know what they call it now. They'll probably sell the naming rights pretty soon. Please do subscribe to the channel, by the way. Bottom right-hand corner to get involved. We're on the road to 800,000 subscribers. Remember, that's Football's the place to be. You're all very welcome on here. It doesn't matter who you support. We're going to be covering all the World Cup games for you next month. And yeah, I need to look at what we're going to do next weekend. So Champions League on Tuesday and Wednesday night. We'll be doing watch-alongs on here. Next weekend's fixtures, Halloween weekend. I'll be dressing up as Dracula. Leicester against Man City at 12:30. I might do that. I'm not doing Liverpool Leeds at 8 o'clock on a Saturday. No, I'm out. Fulham Everton at 5:30. Forget about it. 3 o'clock's all up crap as well. And Sunday it's United against West Ham, which I'll be doing on that. So probably do Leicester Man City at 12:30. Really. Yeah, they're not great games. Chelsea, Brighton, Newcastle, Villa, Spurs, Bournemouth, Newcastle, Crystal Palace. There's not great games next week. And they've put a game on Saturday night. Boo. I can't do Talk Sport next Saturday night. My Talk Sport show's been suspended next week. Not because I said it was a penalty, but because they've got live coverage of Liverpool Leeds. I think if you ask the nation what they'd rather have on a Saturday night, Goldbridge Talk Sport show or Liverpool Leeds, I think it would be quite trouncing. Dance says at Goodison Park they'll keep the centre ring and the penalty boxes so anyone can play on Goodison grass. Nice, Dance. I like it. And Mark, I'm from Australia looking for a football team. Any suggestions, mate? Mitch. What sort of football team? A team to support? Manchester United. The Emirates is winning. It's got 52% and St James's Park has got 48%. So I'm going to close this down in 10 seconds. If that doesn't change from 52, Arsenal beats Newcastle on Stadia. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. I do feel bad for Newcastle because I think they should have won. But we are doing an Arsenal watch-along, so that might have just given them it. But it was close. It's close. It's caused a lot of frustration in the chat, and I feel it. 52% went for the Emirates, 48% went for St James's Park. Guarantee you, if we weren't doing an Arsenal watch-along, that may well have gone the other way, but it's the way the cookie crumbles. So, our first semi-final, the game is about to start here, so we need to be moving. First semi-final for best stadium in the Premier League is, oh my God, you won't believe it. You will not believe this. It's Anfield against Goodison Park. It's a Merseyside derby in the battle to get into the final for the best Premier League ground. Which way are you going? You're going Liverpool. It's always, let's ask Jamie Carragher what he thinks, because he was an Everton fan growing up and he changed his mind to be a Liverpool fan. Make your minds up about what that is. Jamie, what do you think about Anfield or Goodison Park? At the end of the day, it's all about the structure. It's all about it's not about the players. It's not about the manager. When I look about what the best Premier League stadium is, it's about the structure. And it is about the structure. It's about Anfield against Goodison Park. Get going. What do you think of Bolton? I don't. Thogden. Or Thogdad, that's what I think about Bolton. That's pretty much the relevancy of Bolton now. I mean, I do remember the days of Jason McAteer. Was it John McGinley up front? Who else used to? Alan Stubbs. He was a good centre-back. Players are about to come out now. Anfield's winning at the moment, but it might not win in the end. What about Highbury, says Mr. Gunners? I'd love to put Highbury in there, but it's not a ground that you play at anymore. JJ Okocha, yeah. Who remembers that player at Man City? Kincladsey. Oh, what a player he was. When Man City was shit. Before oil. B.O. There's Arteta. As a Liverpool fan, I'll admit they have a good atmosphere at Goodison, but at the end of the day, it's just a shed, says Joel. Right, second half's about to start here, so I'm just going to start it. There we go. Right, I'm going to count down here. Anfield is got 55%, so if it doesn't change, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Anfield beats Goodison Park with 55% and goes into the final, where it will play for the final. Best Premier League stadium. We're talking atmosphere and everything as well here. We're not talking about whether it's a bit rusty. or whether it's brand new, Old Trafford or the Emirates in the second semi-final to play Anfield in the final. Watermelon says Goodison was robbed. I can say that now. Goodison Park for me, I wanted to see it in the final. Southampton shoots wide. Are you going to do Tottenham versus Watchalong? Not Newcastle. No, I was going to do Tottenham versus Newcastle, but I'm doing the United Stand fan forum at 7 o'clock, and I've got Ricky on, so I don't want to be exhausted for that. You've got to be on the ball with Ricky. And to be honest with you, every time I do a Tottenham Watchalong, it's boring. So I actually feel I'm doing football a service here by not doing a Watchalong for Spurs, and it might actually be a good game. Old Trafford has battered Old Trafford. Emirates. The umpire says Emirates is 10 times better than Old Trafford. More history there. And Ishan says this is the United channel. Old Trafford will definitely win. It's not a United channel. It's not a United channel. And actually, Mount battered Bruno on the last stream we did. So I don't think you get the United bias on That's Football anymore. I think that Goldbridge has gone nuclear, basically. I don't just have people watching my content who are United fans anymore. I don't know whether that's a good thing or a bad thing, but a lot of people who aren't United fans watch my content, so it's not mostly it's not mostly a United channel at all. You're talking out your arse. That's football. Uh, 67%, they're out. So our final for best Premier League stadium is going to be the two most successful clubs in English football with the greatest history and old grounds, not new grounds. So it's Anfield against Old Trafford for the best Premier League stadium. I'll tell you what that says to me. History matters. To the modern fan, history still matters. Because really, oh, hold on, Southampton here, up against Gabriel. He's all on his own. He's fucked that up. Really, it could have been Tottenham's ground against Arsenal's ground for, modern. But the modern fan likes the history. It's not a bad start to the R from Southampton here. Battle of the Rust Bucket, says Arsenal 53. What is, actually, honestly, though, I must ask this because I've never been to the Emirates. I've walked around it. You need to watch my video. I can't even remember what channel it's on. Can anyone remember that video I did when I went to the Emirates and walked round and took the piss? I've never been inside the Emirates. I'm not impressed with it outside. I prefer Highbury. But what is the atmosphere in the Emirates like? Is it possible to a United fans versus other fans poll, says Damon. It's on your Mark Goldbridge channel, I think, says AP. Good atmosphere this year, says Tanner. Nabil says it's good atmosphere now, but for previous years it's been rubbish. Yeah, I mean, your atmosphere is always going to be dictated to by how well you do. I mean, I don't go to Old Trafford hardly at all now, as people will know, but I used to go quite a lot in the early noughties, and yeah, we were very successful then. The atmosphere at Old Trafford then was, even, I'm talking Sir Alex years, Ryan Giggs and all that. It was good. It was a good atmosphere. I mean, sometimes it'd go a bit flat because you'd be beating another team that's shit 3 or 4-0, but it was a happier place. It was a more vibrant place. Whereas, I think the last game I went to was a 0-0. No, it wasn't the last game I went to because I went to watch Solskjaer a couple of times. I remember going to 0-0 Palace and United, obviously. I went to watch 0-0 Palace against Fulham at Old Trafford. 0-0 Palace and United. I think it was Palace. It was about November time. Mourinho was in charge. Or was Mourinho in charge or was it Solskjaer? Anyway, the atmosphere was horrible. It was like a fucking library. It was not like Old Trafford at all. It's coming down, you know. Anfield's starting to win, so keep your votes going in. It is the final, so keep it going. Do Boris versus Sunak poll. I mean, I'm not... I will do it. I've got absolutely no interest in it because I don't do politics, but there you go. Ernie says European nights at Anfield are special. There is something difficult. There is something different about European nights. I always felt that about Old Trafford. European nights at Old Trafford, even going back to like the early 90s when we weren't that good. You know, when we had the no foreigner rule where you could only pick 3 people who weren't English. So they were always a bit different. Mark, love your watch-alongs, best in the business. Never heard the reason why you don't go to stadiums anymore. Can you please explain, says those vlogs. So yeah, I used to go to Old Trafford quite regularly, but I don't go hardly ever now because obviously I do my watch-alongs, and going to Old Trafford is a completely, for me, it's for me. And you can't beat being at the grounds. You can't beat that. But obviously, I'm on the biggest United fan channel in the world, and watch-alongs are, you know, loads of people watch them. So if I'm at the ground, I can't do a watch-along. So that's basically why I don't do it. And people go, well, you should just go and watch the game. But, you know, it's my choice, isn't it? I live with it. But it'd be nice to have somebody who can do the watch-alongs and then start going to games. But we've been pretty unlucky with people who come into the channel and then just, you know, sort of stab you in the back a bit, really. So at the end of the day, sometimes it's just easy just to crack on and do it yourself. Do you think there'll be a general election, Mark? Well, I don't do politics, so I can't really say whether there's going to be a general election. But I don't know. Do you like Wembley? No, I hate it. I prefer the old Wembley. Right, Old Trafford's won. It's been stuck on 61% for ages. All right, I'm a United fan. Maybe that helps. But I enjoyed it. I enjoyed that. And... you know, maybe in the future we'll do one without Old Trafford because, you know, maybe there is a bit of bias there. Leave the politics to Gary Neville, yes, Morgan. Yeah, I can't. But you see, Gary Lineker, it must be something to do with people called Gary. Gary Lineker does it as well. I mean, it's up to them what they do on their socials, absolutely. But I really don't like anybody telling me what to vote or how to think. And at the end of the day, you've got your followers because you present on bloody Match of the Day, mate, not because of your bloody political views. And I couldn't give a shit. I think politics is such a personal thing. I've got like friends and family who've got different politics to me, and we just won't discuss it. I'm not interested in your politics being rammed down my throat. But you know, it is what it is. And to be honest with you, I haven't really got any politics that I can ram down your throat because I'm not somebody that's born a certain political party and stays with it. I think I've voted for 3 political parties in my life. I'll always do what I think is the right thing. Cheers, Mark, says Path. Cheers, Path. So we've got 10 minutes of this second half gone, and I can't believe he hasn't given a foul for that. Did he not give a foul for that? I'm gonna tweet it, Arsenal fans. But you know, I said this yesterday. Chelsea, you know, even many United fans think that McTominay gave the foul up. But I told you there would be contradiction today. Jesus has been pulled over twice, like McTominay pulled over Broha. Not a free kick once. Not a free kick once. Corner to Southampton. They've got good set piece delivery, but I don't think Arsenal are going to concede from a cross. They you know. Gabriel and Saliba, Very good in the air. Are you Star Wars or Harry Potter, says Gog? I nearly said that the collection of films of Harry Potter are better than Star Wars because Star Wars prequel and sequel trilogy are shite. I mean, I don't know whether anybody saw it last week. They've been putting them on Channel 4, the sequel trilogy. Oh, God. They get worse every time you watch them. They are terrible. They should be confined to history like we didn't make them. They should be binned off and no mention of them ever, erased from history. But I'm probably more of a Star Wars, to be honest. But I do like the Harry Potter films, especially this time of year. Good to watch. Prequels are not bad. I think The Phantom Menace is shit. Attack of the Clowns ain't much better. Revenge of the Sith's okay. I haven't really got into Andor, Gio. How many more episodes are there? Have you got any more World Cup tops? Well, I showed you the Brazil one yesterday. Have I got any more World Cup tops? They're all having a little bit of a break. I think I might have one actually. So let me get a couple. They're not necessarily for me, but I'm not sure I'll wear them. It's quite nice. That's quite a nice one actually. So, take this money for the Star Wars sequel slander. I always thought you couldn't kill Star Wars, but Disney gave it a good go, says Croc. Thank you. So, I have got some World Cup tops because I've got something that we're doing in a few weeks' time. Watchalong. So, that's the Belgian one. They're bloody expensive football shirts nowadays, aren't they? 70 quid. 70 quid, Belgium. So it's not too bad. It doesn't really do its service because it's a large. So there's a lot of red. But the badge is all right. The shoulders are good. So that's the Belgian one. And then another Adidas one, actually. This is nice. Look, it's got that on the back. So you know what country it is. Again, the arm work. It's nice, actually, that one. That is a nice one. That's Japan. Can't see the badge. That's the Japan kit. It's quite nice. It's got red under there with a bit of white. The badge is nice. Adidas. Plain on the back. It's a nice kit, the Japan one. I don't really do kits, so I won't be wearing them. But yeah, we've just got a few kits for something we're doing. Angie versus Van Bronckhorst poll, says Jordan. I'm not doing anything like that. Could Arsenal win the league? If they keep winning, I mean, what's Arsenal's next few games? I know they've got Forest next week. I think we're past... Oh, here we go. Jesus is through one-on-one. Great defending there. Brilliant defending by somebody I don't know. I didn't see who it was. Who was it? Jesus is through one-on-one. And he tracks back superbly well. I'm trying to see who it was. Is it Elianasu? Yeah, Elianisi. Got back really well there. Could have been it. You'd have put your money on Jesus there. Elianisi. Dylan. Cross comes in from the corner. Crowded out by the keeper. Shot over the bar from Saka. So yeah, can Arsenal win the league? Can Arsenal win the league? Well, their next few fixtures are this. Forest at home in the Prem. Then they've got Chelsea away. And then they've got Brighton, Wolves away. So, win. Just keep winning. Just keep winning. That's all you can do. I'd fancy them against Chelsea, but at Stamford Bridge, be a good game there. That'd be a good game. I'm telling you now, that'll be a good game. Chelsea against Arsenal on the 12th of November. It's going to be a good game. 6th of November, sorry. It's on a Sunday at 12 o'clock. Are they having a laugh? Are they having a bloody laugh? What's all that about? 12 o'clock. They're having a laugh. Uh, 4-0 to Villa. 4-0 to Villa. Make sure you subscribe to the channel, by the way, bottom right-hand corner. So our watch-alongs this week are Champions League Tuesday, 8 o'clock. Champions League Wednesday, 8 o'clock. And then Saturday, probably do Leicester Man City. Yeah, there's not many great games on Saturday unless you want to do Liverpool Leeds. But I don't want to do Liverpool Leeds at 8 o'clock on a Saturday. It's Halloween Saturday. I want to go out and dress up as a Dracula and suck some blood. That sounds wrong if you're urban. Third place stadium. What would that be? Emirates against Anfield. Oh yeah, let's do it. I'm happy to keep it going. Oh no. It wouldn't be. It'd be Emirates against Goodison, wouldn't it? Anfield was second. There you go. The vote's there if you want to do it. Just looking at the Premier League fixtures. Next Saturday's a bit crap. Bonfire night. You've got Chelsea Arsenal play on the Sunday at 12. Tottenham play Liverpool at 4:30. Man United play at 2. I wonder if that's on the telly against Villa. I don't know. It's hard to know whether United are going to be on the telly these days. So we're on telly against Sheriff. We're on telly. Yeah, we are. No, we're not. We're not on telly for Villa. We're on telly for the Carabao Cup game against Villa, but we're not on telly for the game against Villa. Man United, West Ham's on telly. Sociedad's on telly. Fulham's on telly. Okay, so the Villa game's not on the TV. That's a good Sunday. Sunday the 6th of November. Chelsea, Arsenal, 12. Villa, Man United at 2. And then Tottenham against Liverpool, 4:30. Wolves are playing Arsenal at 7:45 on Saturday the 12th. Get in the bin with all these bloody 7:45 games. They're having a laugh. They're having a laugh. 3-0 to Leicester. How have they done that? I tell you what, I'm going to shock you. Can I just shock you here? You are going to get shocked. Like an electric shock. Listen to these stats. It's 3-0 to Leicester, yeah? 3-0 to Leicester, right? 62% possession. Oh, I'll tell you what. I'm going to clip this. I'm going to tweet this and it's going to go massive. They've had 3 shots on target, Leicester, basically. And they're winning 3-0. It's crazy talk. It's absolutely crazy talk. I think it's been reviewed. James Maddison has scored. And Southampton have scored! Oh my God! It's a goal for Armstrong. And it's 1-1. 1-1. 1-1. 1-1. It's 1-1. It's Southampton. And it's unbelievable. Unbelievable. Arteta's not happy. It's just not been that type of game. I think Arsenal have probably been cruising too much. We've got 25 minutes to go here. Arsenal scored a long time ago. And now, Southampton on the break, 2v2. He's up against Tomiyasu. Slips him in. It's a lovely goal by Southampton. They don't have a cutting edge. They do now. It's Armstrong. And it's 1-1. Look at this. Slips the ball through. No one goes with the runner. Oh, I tell you what, Arsenal can't say anything about that. 1-1. Elianasu with a lovely assist. He just stopped Jesus scoring at one end. Brilliant last-ditch tackle by Elianasu. Goes up the other end and plays a perfect assist for Armstrong. And it's 1-1. Arteta out! Arteta out! Well, look, you know what? Look at those stats on the screen there. They've had way more possession. They've had more shots. There's 25 minutes to go. But it was the blonde Armstrong, Ewan. I don't know his first name. Number 17, Armstrong. Arteta! Arteta! Get the T-shirts out. He's blown it. This could have been our year. Plenty of time left. Stuart Armstrong scored. It's plenty to go. Plenty to go. Tell you what, match of the day is going to be good tonight. Plenty of goals. Plenty of goals. I tell you what, I'm going to put this out on Twitter. You're going to love it, right? You're going to love this. If I can get it right, you're going to bloody love it. Check out my tweet I've just put out. You'll love it. It's basically Leicester are winning 3-0. And look at the stats. 62% possession for Wolves. 20 shots to 3. Leicester have had 3 shots on target. And corners, 7 for Wolves, 1 to Leicester. You just wouldn't believe it. Check out Mark Goldbridge on Twitter, my latest tweet. It's just unbelievable. And as Ericsson says on Twitter, it shows that football isn't played on a calculator. Crazy, absolutely crazy. Football, eh? Football, eh? Well, what a good selection of games we've had this afternoon as well. I mean, I always gauge football on entertainment, and this has been very entertaining. 1-1, 20 minutes to go. I still think Arsenal got time to win it, but it's the sort of game, you know. This is why I want Arsenal to keep getting the points, because this is the sort of game that Man City would be winning 4 or 5-0, wouldn't it? Even the best of the rest, Arsenal, are struggling to finish off Southampton here. End the poll. Well, it's close. Goodison Park against Emirates for best Premier League stadium. Keep your votes coming in. We've had 4,000 votes. We'll close it at 5,000. Keep your votes coming in. Alianassi, what a player, says Sangath. Southampton have been good second half, though. Arsenal need to be careful. Another corner. Goodison so far clear of the Emirates, says Sonny. We'll get the votes in then. Please do subscribe to the channel, bottom right-hand corner. That's Football's the place to be for everybody. You're very welcome on here. We're only 3,000 subscribers away from 800k. Thanks everyone for tuning in. Come on, Arsenal. This is a disgrace. Not beating a pub team. Almost as embarrassing as losing to United, says Zayn Miasi. Plenty of time left yet, Zayn. Plenty of time left yet. Exciting last 20 minutes. Ward-Prowse on the corner. They've had a lot of corners, Southampton, but Arsenal are so good in the air, I just can't see them conceding from a corner, and they've headed it away again. Overhead kick there. Finds its way to Ward-Prowse again. They got men. They got men. Cut back. Oh, it's behind him. Shoot straight at Ramsdale. Southampton having a go here. We're having a go. We're having a disco. Football Fill-In should be back tomorrow with me and Ben Foster on his channel. I haven't heard anything else. Jesus goes down injured again. He goes down a lot, doesn't he? Can you turn that down a bit, Seb? Thanks, mate. Don't lie down with a biscuit. Double substitution for Arsenal. Tierney and Nketiah coming on for Martinelli and I would imagine Tomiyasu. Varane outs for 3 to 4 weeks. I'm so relieved, says Ronnie. Well, it doesn't help United. It helps France. Arteta out, says Fuzan. Oh, nobody replied to me yesterday. You're probably getting a bit too tense about this game, but if you've got any ideas for sections you'd like me to include in my new podcast, let me know. It will be a weekly podcast talking about all football. So if you've got any little sections you'd like me to bring in, you know, could be comments, could be, you know, certain little things that you like in football, let me know. I'll consider it. It's Turney, not Cherney, Mark. Well, I'm rubbish with names. Let's not forget, Arsenal should have had a penalty. If you'd had the referee that had... I'm going to tweet it just to wind people up. Who is the Villa manager at the moment? What's the best home kit in the Premier League? Can't think of one that jumps out. Wolves have had 20 shots and Leicester have had 3. And Leicester are winning 3-0. That's from Dylan. Mad. Emirates has beaten Goodison by 52% to 48. Quite close. What about worst refereeing decisions of the week, says Cayman. To be honest, I think that this ref's been pretty crap. Best away kit, I'd probably say that Arsenal one. I think it's very nice. We have all the time in the world. Thanks, Catherine. I like that. I'm reading some of your ideas for the podcast as well. All right, sounds good. Mark, do a new poll. What was a bigger waste of money, Spurs Stadium or Maguire? Says Zane. I'd say Maguire. Best team badge. I like that. But it's very tribal. You're never going to get me as a United fan saying, oh, I love Man United, but I absolutely love the Liverpool badge. The badge is very personal, isn't it? 2-1 to Fulham, apparently. I don't know whether that's been confirmed. What channel is the podcast on? I don't know. It won't be on YouTube. It'll be on a podcast platform. I'll probably film it so I can put clips up, but it'll be a proper podcast. I'm still forming ideas for it anyway. It is 2-1 to Fulham. Jesse Marsh is going to get the sack, isn't he? I said that an hour ago. It looks like the the ship is sinking there. They started off the season quite well, but they fell away a lot since. Losing at home to Fulham will not go down well for Leeds. Should have kept Bielsa. Buy my American pie, says the People's Champ. Andres Pereira is balling in the Prem, says Andrew Tate G. Do a chart show for all the Premier League. Bloody hell. That would be impossible, mate. What happened to Paul Ince on the United stand? He got the Reading job. Sherman, he's trying to get promoted to the Prem. Oh, Tierney's holding his neck here. Ref might have to stop play. Southampton won't stop, though. It's 4-0 to Leicester. My God, that's just players down in tools, isn't it, that? 4-0 Leicester. What, have they had 4 shots on target now? Yeah. No. No. Well, 20 minutes. Someone said, tell me to just check Twitter. Can't see anything relevant. $12 minutes to go here. Arsenal need to be winning these sort of games. You know, whatever people think about Arsenal, if we want to see a decent Premier League race, that's how you do it. That is how you do it, or not. Oh, no. It's not a goal. Odegaard is not celebrating, so it can't be a goal. Tierney does great work, pulls it back, but I think the ball was out. Yeah, it was out. It didn't look like it was out. He's cut the ball back and he knows it. He's cut the ball back too late. It would have been a good goal. Goran says, come on. No, it won't be a goal, mate. Dubs on YouTube says, yeah, that's way out. It's not even close. Way out. Dubs on YouTube says, Goldbridge, you know my name is Tierney. Ref is terrible, says no, you can't argue with that, mate. The ball was out. You can't rewrite the rules. How are you doing today, Mark? I'm a bit tired actually, and I'm doing so that's why I'm not doing Spurs Newcastle, because watch-alongs are quite tiring, and I want to be up for the fan forum. So fan forum at 7 o'clock with Ricky. You should have had a penalty, Gabby. You should have had a penalty. If it's a penalty to Chelsea last night, then Arsenal should have had a penalty. 100%. I've got to go and have a look at these stats for... Oh, my God. I'm going to do it again. I'm going to do another tweet. Oh, it's just mad. Tillemans, Barnes, Maddison, Vardy have scored. for them. Arsenal pushing for this winner here. We have all doodle-doo the time doodle-doo. So what does that do to the Premier League table? Let me just get it up for you and I will show you. Let me show you. Let me show you. I was going to show you. I can't show you. I was going to show you the league table on the screen, but some prats removed it. Oh well. I'll talk to you about the league table. So Arsenal currently have 28 points. Man City are 26 points behind them. No, not 26 points behind them. As it stands, the gap goes from 4 to 2, with Man City winning yesterday and this being a draw. Walcott's playing. I thought he'd retired. Well done, Theo. Keep at it. You might make it one day. You might fulfil your talent. Theo Walcott's on for Southampton. 2 points would separate Arsenal and Man City if this stays a draw. If Arsenal can find a win, it would go back to being a gap of 4 points. So it'd be disappointing for Arsenal to drop points here. Disgraceful refereeing, Mark. Have you used Super Chats to bribe him? So Zane, mate, I'm with you. I knew there was going to be a refereeing decision that would contradict giving a foul against Chelsea last night, and we've seen it. Um, 100% for me. If it's a foul on Broja yesterday by McTominay, then it's 100% a penalty on Gabriel in the first half, and that would have been it would have been the chance 2-0. It's just inconsistent refereeing again, making the game very, very hard to be subjective about as a fan. Yeah, and it creates controversy, because when I said it wasn't a penalty for Chelsea last night, lots of people said it was, but my stance was we will see tomorrow those sort of fouls not given. So you either give them all or none. And what we've ended up with is exactly what I said would happen. They give the foul on McTominay, but they don't give it on Jesus. And they're the same sort of fouls, and it's inconsistent. So, you know, there'll be people there going, well, it was a penalty for Chelsea and it wasn't a penalty for Arsenal. That's just bias. That's just idiotic. Refereeing should be reffed in a consistent way. So if it's a penalty for Chelsea, it's a penalty for Arsenal. If it's not a penalty for Arsenal, it's not a penalty for Chelsea. And that's the problem. And people can't engage their brain in this. They just want to hear me go, well, it's not a penalty for Chelsea. Wow, what an idiot. What an idiot. How can it not be a penalty? He's grabbing all over him. And then I go, well, why is it not a penalty for Jesus? Wow, he's gone down too easy. He's gone down too easy, that's why. It's a complete and utter contradiction. And the worst thing is, Jesus has got the ball. Broja's waiting for a fucking corner. Tumbleweed says, do you think Arsenal will have a drop-off and when? I think Arsenal's drop-off will occur when they get tired or they start losing some first-team players, because the big positive for Arsenal is that we're nearly at the end of October and they've started their best 11 today. So they're still able to put their best 11 out. I don't think they've got much of a bench, Arsenal. But whilst they can get that, whilst they can put their best team out, I think they can keep them. I mean, they've got Forest next week. I'd expect them to beat Forest at the Emirates. Forest are poor. I don't think Forest can do what they did to Liverpool week in, week out. You know, just park the bus and, you know, get a goal on the break. What are Spurs team news thoughts? Let me bring you Spurs team news thoughts. Let me do it. 4-0 to Leicester. 1-1 Arsenal Spurs. Leeds are now losing 3-1 to Fulham. Jesse Marsh, taxi. What are the flights like on British Airways back to America? It could be over for him. Villa 4-0 against Brentford, as we know. Brentford are getting smacked up a bit lately, aren't they? Lineups. Lloris, Sanchez, Dyer, Longley, Emerson Royale, Sessegnon, Bentancur, Bissouma and Skip, and then Kane and Son. Højbjerg not fit for them. So, and Newcastle have gone with Pope, Trippier, Shaw, Botman, Byrne, Longstaff, Bruno Gomes and Willock, Almiron, Wilson and Joel Linton. No St Maximum again. Yeah, that game could be very, very boring. Newcastle still missing, key players up front, and Spurs. I mean, I can see that being a 1-0 Spurs win. Yeah, I can see it. I can see that being a grinder in the non-sexual way. Could be a Newcastle smash and grab. Don't think it's going to be a great game, Simon, which is why I chose not to do it. I'm on the United Stand at 7 o'clock. Fan forum. Looking forward to it. Make sure you subscribe to the channel, by the way. Bottom right-hand corner. Thanks everyone for tuning in. Still got 5 minutes to go here. Been a bit of a, if I'm being honest, it's been a bit of a poor Arsenal second half. They looked really good in the first 20 minutes, and it takes character to win these sort of games. And if they can find one thing I would say about Arsenal is if they find a winner from here, that's the sort of thing you do if you want to win a league title. You've got to win these sort of games when it looks like you're not going to win. And they've done it a few times this season. Fulham at home. So there's still time for Arsenal, but second half, they'll be disappointed. One thing I wanted to say about Arsenal, and it's been in my head, but I haven't really had a chance to talk about it, was what was their starting 11 on Thursday night? Because playing Thursday night football and then going away on Saturday isn't easy. On Sunday. I mean, he made a lot of changes, but Xhaka and Gabriel played, Saka played, Jesus played, and Tomiyasu played. So, yeah, a lot of them played a good 70 minutes on Thursday night. It's hard. It's hard to do that. It's hard to play Thursday, Sunday. Afternoon, Mark. Few questions. How's the FIFA career going on United stands? Who do you think United will sign in January? Excited for the World Cup? I will get excited for the World Cup, Tom. But I always say that about international football. It's a bubble. It's a bubble. So I'll get excited when it starts. TUSF career mode's going well. I think it's make or break season now, season 3. And then who do I think Man United will sign in January? Well, we've got to, I think Gakpo. You've got to sign a striker, haven't you? You've got to sign a striker. Yeah, 7 o'clock on the United stand. Don't miss it. A minute to go here. I think in seasons gone by, this is what you'd expect from Arsenal away from home against Southampton. 1-1 draw. But this season, you don't expect it from Arsenal. You expect a win. Gakpo can play up front. Do your homework. City and Arsenal got postponed because of Arsenal having to play PSV on Thursday. So that will be played after Christmas now. So both games between City and Arsenal will be in the second half of the season. Tom Grant says Gakpo is quality and a no-brainer to sign. Cheers, Mark. United's next Premier League game is next Sunday against West Ham at 4:30. Playing Thursday night against Sheriff. Apparently there's a pigeon in the 6-yard box that causes the goal. Let's watch this back. I don't think that pigeon's anywhere near Ramsdale. Arsenal with the cross. They're queuing up. Where's the Southampton defence? Arsenal were queuing up there. Southampton clear it. Yeah, I don't think you can blame the pigeon. He's in an offside position, but he ain't got a Southampton shirt on. Come on, Southampton. Oh, what the fuck was that by Prowse? Lazy. Mark, would you take Oyarzabal from Real Sociedad, says the cream of the crop. Depends how old he is. Southampton have got a chance here. They're on the break. There is 5 minutes added on. Nice little slip pass. Gabriel's got to be careful. Arsenal got lots of men back. Nice little dinked ball. Good defending. And Jesus back in his own penalty box there. Bit of afters between Nketiah and Lianco there. Leeds have scored. It's 2-3, says Abhishek. Still a couple of minutes to go here. I think Southampton, based on the second half, have done enough to get a point. What I would say, quite confidently, is that Arsenal will be talking about that penalty decision. And as somebody who doesn't want Arsenal to be winning games, I just have to be I can't be a hypocrite. And, you know, I saw a penalty yesterday that I knew was going to bite back today, and my team's not even playing. I knew that McTominay foul would not get replicated today in one game, and unfortunately it's Arsenal. You should have had a penalty, and if you're an Arsenal fan, you should be looking at that Chelsea referee and saying, where's the consistency? Mark, are you doing a watch along for Spurs Newcastle? God, no. I feel like I need a couple of hours. I'm going to have a cup of tea and a couple of obnobs, maybe a bit of a walk, and then I'll be back on United Stand at 7. It's back-to-back watch-alongs are really difficult, and I tell you what, Spurs is the second watch-along. That's sleepy time. That's sleepy time. I can't do that. I was thinking about it, but I can't. Don't forget, next month I've got my charity stream, by the way. We raised 30 grand last year for people with terminal illness. So we're going to be doing that on this channel the Saturday before the World Cup. So what's that, the 18th? All-day stream on the Saturday. Yeah, I look forward to that. Doing some good. I'm also going to be doing something on my Instagram as well. At Goldbridge Mark. You might want to get involved in it as well. We can do it together. Nothing sexual. Again, some good stuff for charity. So November's going to be the month of charity. I am going to be doing some content around Football Manager 23 as well in November, yes. Are you going to the World Cup? No, we've got some stuff planned for you on the World Cup on this channel. I'm quite excited about it, but I'm not going to the World Cup. I just don't agree with it. I don't agree with going to the World Cup. I don't agree with it. There's lots of things I don't agree with about this World Cup. I don't agree with a World Cup in November, to be honest. I think it's becoming a bit of a joke, the amount of players that are missing out on it. Bella Kopchup's injured. This is over. It's 1-1 and Arsenal drop points. Boos ringing out. Arteta out. They've got the T-shirts out. Big up Marks. I don't have the audio on, so I don't think they are doing that. But yeah, Arsenal dropping points. You're going to drop points. They'll be disappointed. I think the penalty decision was wrong. I'd have to see it again. But yeah, the Arsenal, I think that's a fair point for Southampton today. Arsenal should have put this game to bed in the first half. Second half, they weren't really at it. And yeah, could have won it in the first half, but Southampton battled back and could have been. I don't think anybody can have a pop at Southampton there. Right, thanks everyone for watching. Interesting stream, best stadium and all that. Really enjoyed it. Next watch-alongs on this channel are Tuesday, Wednesday for the Champions League, but we'll have other content for you as always. Make sure you subscribe and get involved. Thanks everyone for tuning in. And tonight at 7 o'clock, I'm on the United Stand. I've got Ricky on, and I think it's Kev, Charlie, Adam. I don't know who else is on, but I know Ricky's on. Thanks everyone for watching, and I will speak to you all in a little bit on the United Stand at 7. Take care, everyone. Speak to you in a bit.